Hello and welcome. We are in module 10 and we have been performing various operations and calculations using logical functions and formula. In this particular session, we are going to learn how we can count and sum subject to given criteria. In today's example, we are going to consider a document which, as kids, some of us never ever wanted to see it, and some couldn't wait to get it to show to their parents. In any case, today let's consider that you have been given a task to analyze this grade sheet of class 6H and give some review. Let's see how we can do that. In this particular sheet, you have been given the grades of 4 subjects for 25 students. However, first thing first, I hope by now you have developed the flair to make your Excel sheet look neat and nice. So let me quickly do that, which is formatting of this particular Excel sheet. I'm going to add few rows here so that we can have some formula here by using Alt-IR shortcut. So I'm going to click here above which I want the rows to be added, and I will type Alt-IR. I will do it a couple of times more, and I'm going to have this particular title row designed. I'll use navy blue or dark blue. The font will be white. I will make them bold. It's already they're bold. Then I'm going to create borders for the sheet. I have selected this entire range. I will right click, format cells, go to borders tab, select the color as the lighter than the navy blue. I will choose this particular line option and I will select outline as well as inside and click on OK. Now let's have this particular column as center align, and we'll do the same for these columns too. And one final thing, we will freeze panes above this particular cell and on the left of this cell. That means whenever we scroll in the sheet, the rows above this cell and the columns on the left of this cell will remain intact. So for that, I'll click here, then click on View on the menu tab, click on Freeze Pane, and once again click on Freeze Panes. So now top rows and left two columns are frozen. Let's say you want to count the number of students with A grade in various subjects. So let's start with English. For this particular purpose, we will use a function called COUNTIF. This function counts the number of cells in a particular range which satisfies a criteria which you give. So let's go to FX button, click on the FX button. We will select COUNTIF, which is already there. Otherwise, what you do is you type here count in the search function and click on go. You will be given the options related to count. Select COUNTIF, click OK, and these are the two parameters. First we will select the range. So the range for English is this. I am using the mouse to select the range. You can manually type C8:C32. The second parameter is the criteria. So here we are looking for A grades. So we will type A here and click on OK. So there are 10 students who got A grades in English. If you examine this formula, A is written inside the quotation mark. While writing A in the formula window, you did not type the quotation marks. However, Excel has taken it because we are comparing text. And whenever you are comparing text or dealing with text inside a formula, you have to always enclose it inside quotation mark. So if I have to write this formula manually, I will type equal to COUNTIF open bracket or open parentheses, select the range which I can manually type or select using mouse, which is in this particular case it is D columns. So D8:D32. I can see that the last is 32 and the first would be 8 because the title row is 7. Then we type comma. This tells Excel that now you have finished giving range and you are now writing the second parameter, which is criteria, and we will type the text within quotation marks, which is A, and we close parenthesis or close bracket and hit enter. In this particular case, there are only 3 students who got A in maths. So let's understand what exactly Excel is doing. Excel is going through this particular range which you have specified, and it is searching for, if you have written text, then that text in that range, and counts how many times that text appears in that range. It can be either a text or an expression. An expression could be a text with a wildcard or a formula. Since we are handling text here, we cannot write formula. So we will consider another example by writing a text with a wildcard. One more thing we can do is, instead of typing manually what to be compared, we can refer to a cell, and then that becomes handy, because instead of every time changing whether I want to count students with A, B, C, I will just refer to a cell and just change the value of that cell. Let's do that here. So I'm going to drag this cell down. I'll copy this formula down and use this cell to refer what I want to compare. If you see now, the number has changed to 9, because what has happened here? When we copy a formula, the cell range changes accordingly. So we have learned that in such cases, we should always create a cell range as absolute cell range. To do that, either we manually type $signs here in the cell IDs, or there is another shortcut. One, you go to that cell and hit F4 button on your keyboard, and it automatically adds $signs to that particular cell. I will undo this using Ctrl Z. If you want to change the entire range, you select the entire range and hit F4, and the range has been converted to absolute range. I'm going to hit enter. Now when I copy this, range remains the same. I'm going to remove this button here, and here instead of A, I will edit this, remove A from there, and refer to this cell by clicking here. So now the formula is COUNTIF in this range, and compare this cell. So the criteria is there in this particular cell. We haven't written any criteria at the moment. So whatever criteria is there in this cell will be checked against. So I'm hit enter, and now if I type A, it is going to present 10.